that OCOE. Yeah. Wake up in the morning, go to God first. If you ask me how I changed, I put God first. How I made it through this pain, I put God first. God first, I put God first. World telling me to put my job first. Love my family and friends, but it's God first. Even when I fall like it's clockwork, he gon' take my sin and chuck it like some Converse. I don't put nobody else above. Thank you for your mercy and your love. I don't put nobody else above. God, you sit on the throne. I ain't picking up my phone till I wake up in the morning. Go to God first. If you ask me how I changed, I put God first. How I made it through this pain, I put God first. God first, I put God first. iPhone tryna make me scroll first. Try chasing all the lights, but it won't work. Love from the world made my soul hurt. Got with Jesus and he showed me how my soul work. I don't put nobody else above. Thank you for your mercy and your love. I don't put nobody else above. God, you sit on the throne. I ain't picking up my phone till I wake up in the morning. Go to God first. If you ask me how I changed, I put God first. How I made it through this pain, I put God first. God first, I put God first. Watch how I send up a praise. 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 Wake up in the morning, go to God first. If you ask me how I changed, I put God first. How I made it through this pain, I put God first. God first.
Caleb Gordon.
I put God first.
Caleb Gordon. Yeah.
A2000 EST.
Yeah.
That's that OCOE.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday to you, y'all. Do me a favor, like, share, and tag, y'all. It is bandwidth in the lunchroom. Yeah, what time is it? 1:12. Do me a favor, like, share, and tag, y'all. We have a great interview today. One of my closest pastor friends. Genius man. Expert in apologetics. We're going to talk about apologetics tonight, y'all, for today. Let everybody know that we're on, y'all, and Happy New Year to you, y'all.
You tried to keep me on ice, that's too sketchy. Till I tapped in with Christ, now I'm Wayne Gretzky. Can't believe I thought so many times I was done, but you the type to lead a 99 for the one. Who knew all I needed was a sign from the sun? Who knew all I needed was a sign? Gotta tell them it's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. That's why I had to tell my sister and my brother. Devil, he be creeping undercover. He just wanted to go fight each other instead of fighting him. I can't let the old me win. Lucy want me falling into sin. So I'm in the gym. Took the heart away like Tim. Put my heart away, not again. Watch me cut the habits that I had for 20 years off. Gotta guard the gates, watching what I'm letting in. Watching what I listen to, watching what I see. I don't wanna hear a dog if he ain't planting seed. Trying to see the fruit, I'm cutting out the weed. Live a good life on earth before we leave. Can't believe I thought so many times I was done, but you the type to lead a 99 for the one. Who knew all I needed was a sign from the sun? Who knew all I needed was a sign? Gotta tell them it's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah.
I'm gonna play that one more time, dog. Oh, Alan Cole wrote this. What's up, y'all? Do me a heavy like, share, and tag. Welcome to Bandwidth in the Lunchroom, y'all. It is Friday. Happy New Year to each and every one of you, y'all. Love you so much. Put in the comments where you're watching from, y'all. We have a phenomenal interview. One of my brothers in the faith, y'all. I love him. Phenomenal brain, phenomenal mind. Expert in apologetics. We're going to have a conversation, y'all. You do not want to miss it, y'all. That was Caleb Gordon, y'all. And I'm going to play that one more time.
Yeah. A2000 EST. That's that OCOE. It's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. In the same world, we don't fight the same way. I don't need the Glock, nah, I don't need the K. But I got a weapon that'll make it say grace. Power of the Lord, make him do the whole leg. Lucy mad that we went the right way. Went and got the logo, so hit the whole place. Tried to move the goalposts, we kicking out hate, kicking out pride. We kicking out the pain like Messi. He can't check me. Lucy tried to be friendly, we not besties. He tried to keep me on ice, that's too sketchy. Till I tapped in with Christ, now I'm Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, I need to play that. Let me go back.
Can't believe I thought so many times I was done. But you the type to lead a 99 for the one. Who knew all I needed was a sign from the sun? Who knew all I needed was a sign? Gotta tell them it's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. That's why I had to tell my sister and my brother. Devil, he be creeping undercover. He just wanted to go fight each other instead of fighting him. I can't let the old me win. Lucy want me falling into sin. So I'm in the gym. Took the heart away like Tim. Put my heart away, not again. Watch me cut the habits that I had for 20 years off. Gotta guard the gates, watching what I'm letting in. Watching what I listen to, watching what I see. I don't wanna hear a dog if he ain't planting seed. Trying to see the fruit, I'm cutting out the weed. Live a good life on earth before we leave. Can't believe I thought so many times I was done. But you the type to lead a 99 for the one. Who knew all I needed was a sign from the sun? Who knew all I needed was a sign? Gotta tell them it's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war in the city, it's a war outside. You spread lies, it's a war in the mind. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. Let your kingdom come, let it fall right now. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah. It's a war, yeah.
That song goes stupid. Yo, Happy New Year. What's up? I'm cute though. Y'all know I ain't lying. Yes, sir. Y'all, welcome to Bandwidth, y'all. It's about to be phenomenal. It's about to go down, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Yo. Welcome to 2026, y'all. It is going to be a phenomenal year. If you believe it, say I believe it. Put that in the comments, y'all. It's only a few people watching, y'all. Do me a favor and just share this. Let everybody know we're on. I know people are working and things like that. You do not want to miss this interview. Phenomenal man of God, y'all. I'll tell you in a minute who it is. Y'all, let's do this. We are only what? How many weeks away? 2 weeks away from the Making a Band conference, y'all. 5-fold conference. You don't want to miss it. I'm excited about it. It's my first conference. And I'm only going 5-fold, 5 years. 5-fold, 5 years. And then I'm moving on to something else. So how old will I be? Don't worry about it. January 15th, y'all, through January 18th. Thursday is our first night, y'all. It's going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. But I've been interviewing pastors, y'all, and they are a part of the Making the Band conference as well. Did y'all kind of see what I was doing there? You know, you can't have everybody come to the conference, right? But you can have people be a part of it. And I think, y'all, Man, I just enjoy interviewing pastors. I'm doing first ladies in a minute, y'all. I'm interviewing first ladies. I got the first lady I'm interviewing is my mom's. Yeah. That's going to be in a couple of weeks, y'all. I'm interviewing my mom's because she was the first lady. And for what? A long time. But y'all, the Making the Band conference is in a few weeks. Go and get your tickets. www.makingtheband.us. Again, www.makingtheband.us. Get your tickets right now. Thursday, y'all, January 15th is going to be with Bishop Mark House, y'all. Go, man. Friday is going to be Prophet Gabriel Solomon, y'all. Saturday is going to be several people, including Apostle Brian Meadows, y'all. Don't want to miss it. Sunday, I'll be teaching. I'm the special guest for Sunday, even though I'm always there on Sundays. But, just putting myself on the ticket. Don't miss the conference, y'all. It is a conference not of strategy, but it's a conference of encouragement. It's not about growing y'all, we ain't trying to take nobody money and give you some little gimmick and none of that, man. I just want you to come as a pastor, as an evangelist, as an apostle, as a prophet, as a teacher, as an elder, as an intercessor, as a worship leader, as a worship team member, whatever, however you serve in your local church. I just want you to come and sit for 3 days, y'all, just to be encouraged for your 2026 year, because you need the encouragement. You need to know that God is still with you, even though people may not be, even though you may not have the numbers. God is still with you, and his hand is on your ministry. His hand is on your life. So that's what it's about, y'all. Now, next year, 2027 is going to be strategy and things like that. But this first conference is just for your encouragement. I hope that's all right with you. All right. So if you're a pastor listening, or if you want to, you know what, Brand, cut this up and make it a commercial and put that out. Yeah. Cut this up and make it a commercial, and leave this part in there. When I say cut this up, make it a commercial. Don't take this out. Listen, I want you to come. I want and listen, pastors, bring your teams, man. Bring your teams. I don't care how large your church is or is not. Encouragement has nothing to do with ministry size. Encouragement has nothing to do with the size of your ministry. Ministry has a way of being taxing. It can eat you alive, man, if you're not graced to do it, or you're just in a place where you're discouraged, man. It can tear you apart. It can tear families apart. And so I don't want that to happen. God does not intend for that to happen. So this is just a season of encouragement for you, those of you who are in ministry. Love you. Brand, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
What's one thing, get in the mic real quick. What's one thing you want God to do for you this year?
4, please.
4, let's see. Go for it.
The main thing I've been asking.
Good. That is so good, man. So, we ain't got time for all that.
It was super short.
Oh, okay.
It was super short.
Let's try it. Go for
You
it.
may feel bad too.
Go for it.
Everything that I'm helping you do and we're doing together, I just want God to just see. I want us to see the fruit. I'm ready for whatever God has planned, whether it's bandwidth, encounter. I'm ready for the blow up situation. I'm ready for the world to know you, know your name, all the things. So,
man, I shouldn't have cut you off the first time.
It's okay,
that was
sir.
so powerful.
It's okay.
That was so powerful, man. Man,
but that's really what my thing. I haven't really thought about for me.
Wow.
I just want for you.
You know what's so interesting? I haven't thought about for me. I'm thinking about for y'all.
Now I got the heart of my leader.
Yeah, I haven't thought about. I do want this new Shelby truck.
Amen.
I want a 2025 Shelby truck. I do want that for me.
I love that for you.
I'm like, Lord, this kinfolk, you feel me? I'm doing that for the kingdom, you feel me? At least let me get a new ride.
For the Lord.
For the Lord. I'll pick up church members. I drive it for your name's sake, Lord. I really appreciate that.
I want Making the Band to blow up. Joy. Oh, y'all, I can't wait for the new Joy.
The new Joy.
Sir.
The new Joy is crazy.
That
It is crazy. The new Joy is crazy. I think that may be the one.
It is the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
I really do.
And you know, I don't. This is gonna mess you up. I don't like 98% of my songs.
Stop.
Not one.
Sir.
I'll put it out. I'll sing. I'll minister. Nobody Like You. I don't like that song.
I love that song.
I Saw the Lord. I don't like that song.
I love Today Could Be My Day.
I don't look. I do. I can't stand Today. I can't. No.
Album, I can listen to that.
I don't like. Nah. I don't like any of my music for the most part. But Joy, that we gon' be all right. I'm like, come on, Lord.
Sir.
Yeah, that go crazy.
I enjoy Joy. And
that go crazy.
Consecrated this year as the bishop. Like, I'm really excited for you, sir. I really am.
I forgot about it.
You finished school this year. Like, this your year, sir. 26 is your year.
I hope
birthday in a few days. You're about to have a year.
Yeah, it's gonna be expensive.
We don't worry about that part of it. Don't worry about that part of it.
It's a lot of celebrate. Yeah, it's gonna be a dope year, man. So, but you know what? I want to, Brand. Thank you. I wouldn't be here if it were not for you, dog. Mm-hmm. I gotta let you know that, y'all. I don't care who. You know, I'm so glad I ain't no hater. But there's some people, man, that just God created them for your ministry, and Brandy Thompson is one of them. We would not have any of this stuff if it were not for my money. I want to put that out there.
That's the truth, though, y'all. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's the that ain't cap. That is the truth. That ain't cap. And look, it ain't church money, Brian. You got to tell them, dog.
Personal pocket.
This is personal pocket, dog. This ain't nobody taking from no church doing this. This is all so. But I want to say to you, I am so grateful for your grace and your ministry and your faithfulness and your commitment to me and this vision, this church, man. It's top tier, is remarkable. So thank you. All right, y'all. Happy New Year. When we come back, y'all, don't want to miss this. I am interviewing Pastor Wallace.
Social media, is it helping or hurting the woman of God, the women of God in the church?
It's hurting us. I say that unequivocally. It is hurting us. I've fallen prey to looking at social media. It's hurting us. It's teaching us a false paradigm. It is a satanic trap, because what's being forced and fed on social media is that the woman is God. And not only that, what's being forced to us is that the Black woman is God. And so when you start listening to that on a regular basis, it seduces the mind. And so when you come and sit in your local ministry, in your local church, and your apostle, your pastor is teaching, your spirit argues with it. Your spirit argues with submission. Your spirit argues with the man as the head of the household. The spirit argues with you not as good as you think you are. And so social media is hindering. Not only that, it puts us in a comparison. We ain't really focused on Jesus. We're not really focused on being transformed. We're focusing on looking good, that we look good, but we're not good internally. Also, I think the propaganda on social media is that literally it's making us women of control. Women that I have to control. I have the ability to control a narrative. I have the ability to control a man. I have the ability to control my life. And then there's the spiritual woman on social media is also that they got a narrative. They don't think you should have a pastor. They don't think you should have a leader. So you got all of these women drawing other women to themselves, which I think is an issue. And so we wonder why our lives aren't producing fruit. It's because we're listening to a bunch of rebellious people on social media. So social media is hurting Christian women. It's hurting Black women. It's hurting how we hear leadership. It's impacting how we show up in relationships. You don't hear a podcaster talk about what you should do, or I ain't gonna do this, or I should do this, and you bring that same foolishness into your relationships, your friendships. And so we can't really produce fruit and be powerful women like we're supposed to be, because we're seduced by alternate opinions.
Yo! Pastor William Wallace, y'all show your love.
One of my you don't meet a lot of genuine people. You don't meet a lot of people who are anointed, genuine. They have real friendship. They support you. He has all the things, y'all. This man right here is all the things. Y'all show your love to my brother, my friend. I'm not saying that I'm not just capping y'all. It's my brother, my friend, Pastor William Wallace. Bro, thank you for coming, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So, look, we got a lot to talk about, and but I want the people to know who you are, where you come from, how you started ministry. Just give us a little bit of context about your ministry.
Okay. Well, I was born in South Carolina, raised in Ohio.
Okay.
I've been preaching since I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
8 years old. I remember getting the revelation of that. Well, actually, it really started when I was in kindergarten.
Okay.
And the teachers was calling my mom because I wouldn't stop standing up on tables delivering the word.
Stop.
Yeah. And so, they was like, we can't control this guy. You're gonna have to, reel him in or something like that. And I didn't know at that time, but it wasn't until I was 8. And I think my mom might have been at Bible study, but I was home with like my brothers and aunts, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to, I can't remember who sings a song, but it was Lord, I'm Available.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. That song has always just been precious to me.
Yeah.
And it was when it was listening to that song that I got the revelation. And I remember that following Sunday, I walked down the aisle at church. I grew up in New Salem Baptist Church, Dr. Keith Troy. And I walked down the aisle, and everybody was trying to figure out why I was walking down the aisle because, we were members. Mm-hmm. And he said, he was like, I already know what this is about. And from that moment on, he made the announcement for the church. He was like, this young man is walking into his calling at an early age. And he's not going to be trained like the regular associates. This is a pastor's mantle in his life. And so from that moment on, from 8, he groomed me, equipped me to become what I am today. Wow. I didn't have regular training sessions with the associate ministers. Everything that we did was pretty much one-on-one. I had specialized assignments, everything. And so by the time I was 19, I accepted my first associate pastorate. By the time I was 20, I planted my first church.
No.
Yeah.
You planted your first church at 20.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
The Church of Columbus. Well, it started out as Chosen Conquerors Christian Center. My mom had a ministry called Chosen Ministries, and my personal ministry was World Conquerors International.
Yeah.
And we just combined the name, but as we began to work out the vision for it and operate, we realized that God was giving us a much bigger mandate. And so God said, every city that I send you to, I am going to give you that name. And so we started the Church of Columbus. From the Church of Columbus, that was in 2006, 2005, 2006. Yeah. And then, 2006, I think. And then from there, we had the Church of Phoenix. And that happened because of a prophetic word that was given to me in 2006. In 2012, we started the Church of Phoenix. And I was at a conference, and I hadn't even been pastor in 6 months, and I was at a conference, and an apostle was there, a prophet. And I'm very standoffish with prophets. Yeah. They don't talk to me much because I'm one of those people where, you know me, I can't hold nothing. If you're lying, I'm going to tell you right there to your face. So, he was just prophesying to me. He said, there's going to come a point in your ministry where you're going to be in a groove, and God is just going to completely, abruptly pull you out of that, separate you from it, and he's going to send you somewhere else. And every plant that we've had since then has been exactly that. It's just been God saying go. And my gift is faith. I just believe God, and I go when he says go. So here we are. This is my 10th plant here in Atlanta. 10th plant? Yeah.
That's a real apostle there.
Yeah, this is my 10th plant. And this is different because usually we plant a church and we put a pastor in place after a couple of years or so, and then we go into the next assignment. But God said, no, I want you to completely absolve yourself from everything that you've done because I'm getting ready to plant you. And so that's how I ended up here.
So, okay, let's go back. Help people understand the church planting concept. I'm a church planter. This encounter is a church plant. But sometimes people can have their own idea of how it looks. When you say your 10th church plant, when you look back at all of those 10 churches, what was and what is the current size of those ministries?
Yes. So most of our churches, those churches on average have at least 100 members. There's some that are larger, there's some that are smaller. But as average is about 100 members.
About 100 members.
Yeah. And typically how that came about is, you know, as our ministry began to reach, like if I would go somewhere and preach or whatever the case may be, we'd have people who would, adapt to the ministry, that would gravitate towards it. And whenever God, gave us a need somewhere, and we had a core group of people that were willing to come alongside us to charter those plants, that's how we planted, the church. We would begin doing ministry there first. I believe you do ministry before you plant.
Absolutely.
Some people think just because you just get an idea for a church, you just set it up, start having church. And no, you gotta do ministry. People gotta know who you are before you plant it.
And so what's your way of, when you go into these cities, what's your way of doing ministry first?
We work the ground, man. We always assess the need, and we begin to speak to the need. And then as we begin to speak to the need, the ministry itself begins to cultivate. And now that we have people who are working alongside us to address those needs, we now have our foundation team. And that foundation is what allows us to say, okay, now it's time to plant.
Absolutely.
Now it's time to, whereas with the Church of Atlanta, it's completely different.
And how is the Church of Atlanta?
It is completely outside of my wheelhouse. This is assignment that God sent me where I had no core, no family, no friends, no even history with this city. I hadn't even visited here. And it was in the middle of the pandemic. And I had never taken a vacation in ministry ever until then. Why it had to come during the pandemic? I mean, I wasn't mad at it because I was flying commercial jets like it was private because wasn't nobody else flying. So, like literally I was sitting in the airport, man, and they was like, well, you the only one on the flight, so you can just board whenever you're ready.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was like, cool. So I came to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And by that time, I did have a couple friends that lived here. And so I just let them know, like, hey, I'm coming, man. I know it's a pandemic, but whatever, this is my vacation or whatever. So I came, and as soon as I got off the airport, I didn't realize why I was coming till I got here. As soon as I got off the plane at the airport, we began to drive around just the South Fulton area. We ended up at this little spot in East Point called Raheem's Chicken Shack. And as I was sitting there eating my chicken and my fish, God began to speak to me. Weird. And I was just like, this is interesting. And so we started riding around the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I noticed that churches weren't just like not open. They had completely abandoned the community, like just shut down because they couldn't have service no more. They was just, so, I was talking to this guy at this laundromat that was connected to this one church next door. He was like, yeah, they just left. They ain't see about the people in the community, nothing. And I was just like, really? And so God just began to, show me a need. And then as I, started meeting different people here and meeting different leaders and things of that nature, I just understood why God sent me here. I didn't know he was going to send me back. So by the time I got back home, I was just like, okay, that was cool. And then he wouldn't let me rest. And then I was like, okay. See, I thought that the prophecy that was given to me in 2006 was Phoenix, because he said it was going to be my Ezekiel experience, that God was going to literally pick me up and sit me in a valley. I thought that was Phoenix, because Phoenix was quite literally a valley. If you know anything about Phoenix, it sits in the middle of mountains. It's literally a valley. And so I thought that was Phoenix. I didn't know that everything that I was doing, planting up until then, was preparing me for here. But even in preparation for here, it's been quite the experience.
What's been some of the community warfare you've experienced since you have?
All of it.
Okay, so tell us where you are right now.
All right, so
what city?
I'm in College Park.
Okay.
I knew that we were going to settle in the South Fulton area. And then God began to give me a vision for the Tri-Cities, College Park, East Point, Hateville. I was sold up until about 7 months ago on planting in East Point. I love East Point. I mean, it's so ghetto. And it's just, I gravitate towards that for whatever reason, man. But then College Park came on my radar.
Okay.
And that came on the radar because sometimes I drive like Lyft and Uber in my spare time. That's how I meet people. And I was taking a rider, and he was like, I was telling him, we're trying to get this, building together, get it off the ground in East Point, blah, blah. He was like, you should look into College Park. Okay. And I'm just like, I mean, we'll do ministry in College Park, but East Point is where we're planting. Yeah. So I began to reach out to the leadership in College Park, just like I did at East Point, Hateville. I already met with some leaders in both cities. Never met with anybody in College Park. I finally met with somebody in College Park. I started getting ingrained in their, happenings. Mm-hmm. And then God said, here. And I was like, all right, cool. Where I messed up was I said yes before I knew exactly what I was getting into. Yeah. Because had I known, I'm not going to lie to you, we'd be worried about East Point. Yeah. Because College Park, I thought East Point was ghetto. But College Park is ghettoer. Yeah. On every level. I mean, not just the people, the environment, but the politics is extremely ghetto. Very political city. It's a lot of warfare. College Park is the gateway to the city. That's where the airport is. And so at every gateway, spiritually, that's where you're going to be presented with the most demonic portals. Yeah. And there's a heavy demonic influence that governs that city. And it governs in such a way that it's hard for real ministry to go forth there because the oppression is systemically embedded in everything that they do. How they govern, how they move, even in the things that they call themselves trying to do for the community, it has heavy demonic, influence. And so now unpack that. When you say heavy demonic influence and some of the things that they're saying they're doing for the city, explain that a little bit. It's one of those things where, do you remember when Paul, I think it was Paul, they had reached a town, and then there was the demon-possessed girl. Yes, sir. And she kept, shouting out loud, these are the ones. And everybody, was looking at it as if she was advertising for them. No, she was really alerting the demonic presence. Absolutely. Of what these people were here to do. And so as a result of that, they rebuked her, remember? Yeah. And when they rebuked her, demonic influence lost their hold of her because they could no longer make money off of her. Off of her. And so this is what I'm doing now. I'm in a place now where I have to speak to systems and people and confront adversaries that are really capitalizing off the oppression and bondage of the constituents in the city. Okay, so Pastor, let me throw this out at you. Are you suggesting that because we're in a culture where people are blaming the church for everything? Mm-hmm. When you think about a city and a community, it is not, the church doesn't run that community. Right. The politics, the government in that city runs that city. Right. How much warfare is coming from politics versus the church in these communities? A great deal of it, but the flip of that is the reason why this is allowed to happen is because the church stopped taking its rightful place in the community. And what's its rightful place in the community? The church is supposed to be at the epicenter of community affairs at all times. If you look back in history of the church, there was nothing that happened in the community that the church was not privy to, that the church was not involved in. Even, back before the civil rights era, the church was always, you something happened, you go to the church. You needed prayer, you go to the church. But you had access to the church in those times then too. You could go to the church in the middle of the day, back in the day, and the pastor be there, and you could pray and sit on the pew or at the altar, whatever the case may be. You don't have that access no more. You can't even get in the parking lot these days because they're chained and gated. And so when the church stopped being accessible, it allowed the political to move in and take residency and reign. And so now we're in a place where the church has to pivot from that. And we've got to go back in and take our rightful place. And because of that, there is the adversity, there is the warfare. It is literally the church trying to go into Zion, as David did, and take this stronghold, because that's what it is now. Communities have become strongholds. They've become strongholds to the political, to the governmental, to even, things outside of politics. And so now the church's relevance and reverence has been called into question because we have not been present. We're loud, we're making noise, we do things, a little turkey drive or whatever the case may be. But how involved are we really? Is the pastor going to these council meetings and speaking truth to power and saying, "Nah, y'all got to cut this out. You let my people go"? Are you willing to be the Moses that stands before Pharaoh and challenges Pharaoh's authority?
Now, why? So let's progressively get here. What happened? What church are we talking about? Are we talking about the African American church? Are we talking about the local church, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, etc.? Or are we talking about the global church? We're talking about the kingdom of God. Because when you talk about certain community issues, when have we seen the white pastor that serves Jesus Christ advocate for the African American community partnering with the African American pastor that serves Jesus Christ? What happened that caused us to disconnect from the community?
Integration.
Say that again.
Integration.
What you mean?
Well, I mean, we wanted so bad to be a part of that system and that way of thinking, the way of doing, even in our practices. I mean, you look at, everybody wants to be a multicultural ministry.
Man, get out the room! Get out! Sorry.
You all right? And so when we got away from us, we started conforming more to them, and we lost sight of us and what our plight was really all about. Hard facts.
Integration is what caused us to leave our own community, trying to be diverse. All right.
I stand 10 toes down on that.
And I'll give you another 10. That's the problem. And so from trying to integrate, what happened after that?
Well, from trying to integrate, we began to conform to a lot of things that were not conducive to our progression. And as a result of that, we stopped leaning on things that built us up as a people and started trying to do things that was universally acceptable. And the problem with that is that, yeah, I understand progression to an extent, but if that progression universally continues to systemically oppress our people, then you have not done your job well. you have not really walked in the assignment that God has given you. And this is why it's so important that when you do plant, that you plant prayerfully, that you know exactly where God is sending you and what he's sending you to do. Because it's almost like, you know how you see people, and it's no shade, well, kind of a little bit of shade, but it's no shade to, you know, some of these pastors out here, but you see people plant a church and then something happens in that locale. And so they go clear across the city to another locale and they say, we're here now. And then something happens there. And then we go clear across the city to another locale. And it's like, where did God call you to?
So all right, Pastor. So let me give you, we just having a conversation. So we started and I gotta be very careful how I say this. We started in the Alpharetta Roswell area. Mm-hmm. All right. Because I want to add some balance to it, but I also want to prove his point. We started in the Alpharetta Roswell area because our original mindset, when my dad sent us up here, he was like, go where the vision for our plant was to attract young professionals. Mm-hmm. So I was 26, 27 years old. I lived in Atlanta when I was a kid. By 26, 27, I don't know anything about Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I'm from Albany, Georgia. He said Roswell, Alpharetta. Well, I got the assignment. What I mean is Roswell, Alpharetta was training for me. Mm-hmm. And training for my first foundation of leadership. Mm-hmm. We could not impact the city. Mm-hmm. Roswell, Alpharetta, that's predominantly rich folk, mm-hmm. white people. Mm-hmm. Black kids. I'm 26, 27 years old. So you're talking about the Brandys and that group of people. These people, 20, 21, 22 years old, fresh out of college, etc. The Black context, our context didn't merge with that established system there. Mm-hmm. We could not make the impact. We have done more impact in this area mm-hmm. than we did in Roswell. Here's the problem. In this area, we don't have a lot of African Americans. We have a lot of Hispanic Americans. Mm-hmm. So we've made a lot of impact as relates to feeding that community. Mm-hmm. But out of I have fed thousands of people at this point. But out of all the people that I fed in this community, none of them have joined. Mm. They're not of my mm-hmm. ethnic group. Mm-hmm. So are you saying that is the problem, that type of mm-hmm. movement? Now, though it was innocent and God used it, mm-hmm. spiritual development, we grew in this mm-hmm. location. Mm-hmm. Alpharetta, we didn't grow in. Here we grew, mm-hmm. 800 some plus people. Are you saying that type of progression is what caused us to not impact our own community?
Exactly. Because when I hear, and this is not me knocking against what you're hearing either, because you obviously did reach who your intended audience. Yeah. And in fact, I put a post up on Facebook on New Year's Eve. I said, if you want the grown and sophisticated, encounters where you want to be on watch night. And so
I did not see that.
Yeah, I said grown and sophisticated with a splash of ratchet. That's what I said. That's what I said.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, and so when I hear that, when I hear, okay, God, if God said to me that what I'm supposed to track is young professionals, I don't always hear that as that's what they are now.
Right.
Because the whole missive that Jesus gave us was to go make disciples. And so I can go into a place like College Park where it's nothing but dirt.
And raise them
up into young professionals. And so my attraction doesn't have to be in the now. It can be in the potential. I just have to be willing to do the work to get the people that God sends me to from point A to point B. So I can get the young professional. They just might be young and dirty right now. They just might not have a GED or a college degree right now. They just might, they might be turning tricks at God being Old National.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why I said, I think when the one time that you did call me, first of all, don't do that ever again. I am never good with that. I'm.
But you killed though.
I prayed.
You killed.
I went to what I know.
Yeah, you killed though, man.
No, I am never good with that. That's another reason why I sit in the back.
I ain't gonna do it again. I got
Please
you.
don't, man. I just be trying to chill, man.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those preachers that chase the opportunity.
And I know that. And I know that now. I absolutely know that now.
Somewhere I want to get fed. I'm like the rest of the people sitting out there in the audience.
Man, I know that now,
I deal with so much warfare, and it gets so spiritually depleting sometimes that I don't want to work when I go visit. I want to be filled. I want what God is saying to me. It's so important that as leaders that you get poured into, so that you're not trying to pour from an empty well.
So you saying I don't ever have to call you up and let you just talk in the mic because you're a pastor?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, you won't meet to me like that, y'all.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I spent most of my ministry, even in planting, not preaching out. I don't accept a lot of engagements at all. I get requests all the time, but I believe I know what I'm called to do. I know what my assignment is. And one of the issues that I've always had with pastors is that they don't necessarily pastor because they're always gone. They're always pouring everywhere else. And it's like, I feel like if I'm always out of my assignment, pouring into somebody else's, then who's pouring into, I have young pastor friends now that I tell them all the time that they're new in their pastorate. I'm like, listen, stop having so many events. Stop trying to, let everybody in your pool, because if you don't take those first few years to really let people know your heart.
Yeah.
Then this is why we raise chaotic churches.
Absolutely.
Because nobody has a vision to run with. Nobody has a heart to adopt to. And so I don't preach out a lot. I think I can count on two hands over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm 41 now. The last 20 years. The many times that I've had people in my pulpit on a Sunday that was not my pastor.
You've been pastoring 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You've met a lot of pastors.
Yeah.
You planted pastors.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest challenge that the average pastor, in your context, from your experience, your vantage point, what's the biggest challenge that you've noticed that pastors have? Just that, if you could name one.
Being themselves. And see, I struggled with that a lot early on because I'm not your typical preacher.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen in church that even though I was in church, I just was not privy to. I was always in the street.
Yeah.
Always. That's how my pastor raised me. We were a community service driven oriented church.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of church isms that I'm just not privy to that. Yeah. And I don't do well around a lot of preachers and pastors because I don't know all of the church lingo. And even though I've been in church my whole life, I've always been outside of the box.
Yeah.
I was never in the box. And so it was a struggle for me because there were things that other preachers and pastors were doing that I simply just did not have the knowledge of. Mm. And I felt like I was doing something wrong for being me. And that was a real struggle at first. Like, I don't dress up. Very rarely you see me in a button-down shirt, all that. I'm always, in fact, if you look in my closet right now, you're going to see 20 of this same outfit. Black hoodie, black sweats, or black jeans, or black tees. It's all black.
Yeah.
By the way, I started the all black thing. They don't want to acknowledge that. I started that. I started that. I've been doing that.
How long you been doing the all black?
I've been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. Even when I was wearing robes, man, I had black tee. I used to wear the sleeveless classics with black tee underneath.
Yeah.
I just always been, because at any given moment, man, I would have to leave the pulpit and go right into the streets, or I would come right out the streets, right into the pulpit.
Wow.
And so I stopped trying to shapeshift. I just was like, this is who I am. I got a lot of heat because I used to get on a lot of interviews and stuff with these in.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is, if you see these, it's probably because I just came right from the street. Exactly where I just came from.
Absolutely.
I just came from the community.
Yeah.
This is what I'm like when I'm around my people.
So there are church members that don't know that their pastor has challenges of fitting into the mode of ministry. Now, I'm going to make a statement, and I want you to critique the statement.
Mm-hmm.
At least 75% of what we try to be is not what a pastor said we had to be. It is what we think the people want us to be. Mm-hmm. Critique that statement.
I would say maybe a larger percentage of that.
Jesus.
But we also have to put in context of who the people is, because sometimes the people that want us to be that are not the people that we're assigned to. It's the people who were never within the scope of our reach in the first place.
Oh, wow.
And so that was one of the things that I had to get delivered from, is God deliver me not just from people, but from church people. Because I realized that when I go into certain spaces and people have an issue with who I am, how I present myself, you were never a part of my assignment in the first place. And so my appeal is not to you, it's to them. And when I go out amongst them, they gravitate towards me. People, I used to get a lot of heat on Facebook. You don't post like a pastor. You don't talk like a pastor.
You don't at all.
I sure don't.
At all.
But you know who was always complaining? Church folk.
Church folk.
People who I was never called to reach in the first place. I don't do church. I do streets. That's what I do. And if you look at my DMs now, it's always the people from the street like, man, you so real, man. Can you pray for me? How do you feel about this? I'm going through this, X, Y, Z. I never got a complaint from the streets. Ever!
All right.
It was always other leaders, people who wanted me to conform and fit this mold, and I'm just not that.
So Pastor, counsel us. How, I've been senior pastoring 12 years. The phase that you're talking about, I went through that phase. Mm-hmm. I went through the phase the first, I'll say 3 to 5 years, thinking I had to be a particular way. Tudor Bismarck says a lot of times when you're church planting, you think you're building a church, but when in actuality, those first 5 years, God is building you. That church is building you. Counsel a young pastor in cutting down the time of discovering who you are. How does a pastor or a 20-year pastor that's been you're conforming to, that there is something authentic locked up in you, but you're doing what you're doing to please these people, church people. How does a pastor discover who he is?
Well, you got to want to know first and foremost, because I think that half the battle that we see a lot of people, not just pastors, people in general, with identity, they struggle with identity is because they don't want to know who they are. We've gotten so comfortable with trying to keep up with other people that, and I say it all the time, and I'm sure you've heard it many a times, if you're not you, then who is?
Wow.
In fact, after I left here, on watch night, even though I was, man, forgive me, I was tired doing church, but for whatever reason, after I left, I got a boost of energy. I knew I wasn't going to bed no time soon. So I turned on my little Uber meter, and I was talking to a young lady in the ride, and she sung. I could hear her singing over my gospel music. Yeah. And I was like, you sing? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you have a great voice. Do you use it like all the time? Or she's like, no, I used to, but I stopped using my gift because I didn't know how much of it was the gift or my ego. And so I stopped operating with it. And so I was like, go a little further on that. So she began to explain that to me. And she was like, I know that God gave it to me for a reason. And she's like, but I struggle with that reason because I don't want myself to get in the way of God's original intent on giving me the gift in the first place. And I was like, that's very powerful. Yeah. First and foremost, so I began to minister to her. And I said to her, like I say to many people, I said, you are the only you that God created. Nobody can duplicate that. You were uniquely created. They cannot clone you. They could make somebody look like you. There might even be people that sing better than you, but you are the only you. And in knowing that, there are things attached to you that only you can accomplish and only you can bring out. There are people whose healing is attached to your assignment, but if you don't operate in it, they can never get what it is that they need out of your gift. And so I said, as long as you're not being you, you are the holdup for others and people attached to others for them not getting their breakthrough. And so the question is how bad do you want to be you? Do you really want to know who you are, who God created you to be? Because this is the issue that we're having, especially with a lot of young pastors, is that most people start churches because they look at what somebody else is doing. They're saying, I can do that.
Absolutely.
Or I can do that better.
Absolutely.
It's not out of pure vision and unctioning from God. Absolutely. That God says, go, I need you to go. Yeah. It's not out of a sense of urgency. It's about a sense of wanting to be seen. Yeah. But they don't realize is that the version of them that they want to be seen looks like somebody else, not them. You don't know who you are because you spent your whole life trying to mimic somebody else. Instead of saying, God, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? How am I supposed to be moving? How am I supposed to talk? Am I supposed to talk proper like them? Or do I, go into, rooms with other pastors and I continue to talk? I mean, I don't shape shift at all. You know this about me. Absolutely. I don't bend who I am. I'm going to come as who God created me to be because I realize only me. I can be me. You can't be me. I can't be you. I appreciate what you do. And there's some things that I'm going to steal when I see you operate like that. Get with your role and figure out what y'all going to give. I can't wait to steal that. I can't wait till we in person. Oh my goodness, that is first Sunday, first Friday. We got Fridays. Yeah, and that's another reason why I love God. He gave me Friday nights, so I can still come to the counter. And that's so dope, man. Yeah, and so, but most people will look at that even in of itself. Why Fridays? Church is for Sundays, And I'm just like, well, my thinking is that by the time people get to church on Sunday, they done already been used up. If I can use them before the world uses them, how much more impactful will their weekend be and ready will they be for Monday? Man. And so I'm trying to do preventative maintenance.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to speak to this. If I become myself, but I have gained a lot of influence off of becoming someone else, I stand the risk of losing certain people when I present who I really am. But I also gain the benefit of gaining the assigned people to who I'm really supposed to be. Is that true?
That's true. But my uncle said something to me in my first year of my pastorate that really liberated me. He said, those who belong won't leave. Those who don't can't stay.
That's it.
And when I got that really down in my spirit and really begin to live by that, I stopped being affected so much. I'm not saying they don't bother me when I see people of tenure walk away, but I stopped being so affected by it because I realized, they never belonged to me in the first place.
Absolutely.
Those who belong, they ain't going nowhere. Because those are the ones you're inside. And you got to also understand that the people that were there for a season might have just been there to play a role for a season.
Absolutely.
You ever seen a movie Seat Filler?
I haven't.
It's with Kelly Rowland and
so you say her name. I knew I didn't see that one.
Yeah, the dude that used to be married to Tisha Campbell, Dwayne Martin. And so he was a seat filler. And so what it was he got paid for filling seats. He would go to different events, concerts, Oscars, Grammys, all that other kind of stuff. And they had this little blue ribbon on them. If you had this blue ribbon, that means you were a seat filler. In other words, you sat in the seat of the person who was assigned to that seat until they got back. And the reason why is because if the camera so happens to pan to that seat, they didn't want to see empty seats. And so they would pay somebody to sit. And so when I look at it like that, the people who were there when I wasn't myself, I'm looking at them as seat fillers. You were just there so that when the optics came to look at who was sitting in seats, they wouldn't realize that the person that was assigned to that seat wasn't in that seat anymore.
Hey, come on.
I get a lot of revelation through movies, man.
Hey, come on.
I love movies.
So, Pastor, let me ask this. We got to go. I want to ask this question. What's missing from the modern day? We just before I ask you this, I got to get this out. We just saw this movement with the monks. As an apologist, what are your thoughts about this movement with the monks? They're going from Texas to Washington. They just came through. They just came through Georgia. They were, I think. What did they say? College Park did something. They had to be rushed to safety or something like that.
No, it wasn't College Park. There's a lot that goes on at College Park. But let me clear up. They didn't come through College Park.
They didn't come to College Park.
No, they went through Morrow, Decatur.
It was Clay County. They went. It was Clay County.
Yeah,
it was Clay County.
And so it was a side of College Park, but it wasn't College Park.
All right. So, what's your thoughts about how how people responded to them coming?
Honestly, okay. I respect what the monks are doing.
Sure.
You know, that they're doing what they believe is true to them.
Yeah.
I have an issue with our response.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have first and foremost, it's a peace walk. Let's not even get into the theology of it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the practicality. It's a peace walk.
Peace walk. Anybody can do it.
What part of peace requires honking horns, shouting, waving, getting up next to the monk with getting selfies? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Have some decency and decorum about yourself.
Right.
Why y'all always they got a picture of one elected official with this gold wig. First of all, they point out the fact that she switched jury mid-March with him. And then she all hugged up with a dog when they clearly said, don't touch the dog. Like, the dog is there. You know, it is a safety measure. Yeah. You know, not just a safety, but he's, what do they call those dogs with people with disability? Not saying that they got disability, but it is a specialized dog. Right. You know, specifically trained for them. Right. Why is you all hugged up with the dog? Yeah. It's like we try to celebrity everything. And that in and of itself might be a sickness and disease. And we don't just see that in the community. We see that in the church. And what people don't realize is that a lot of what we see in the community is because of what people are emulating from the church. We've turned church into celebrity culture. Yeah. So how can we expect if the example that people see is not one of reverence, then how can we expect people to be reverent? So how should we have responded to this movement? As Christians, I'm just talking to the Christians. Let them walk. You ain't gotta be there. Sometimes you stay home. If you don't understand, if you are not properly educated on what's happening, you don't have to be involved with everything. That's another thing that just aggravates me about our people, for real. And I can say our people, and you can say, and people will say, well, everybody was enough, but my assignment is our people. Absolutely. And I'm going to talk about our people. Come on. If you don't understand something, the Bible says in all you're getting, get understanding. Yeah. In other words, don't get out there just operating foolishly. Get an understanding of what's really happening right now. And also understand that even though this is a non-theistic culture of what they're doing, it does have theistic implications. I seen a video of a lady that said, oh, all of the monks bless my child.
Jesus Christ.
As a believer.
No.
Why do you have people who do not believe laying hands on your child? So this is where it crosses the line, because we get so caught up in the fanfare that we start doing stuff, not realizing that it has heavy spiritual implications. And when we don't realize that, you begin to deal with things in private that you have no idea or reason why.
So you open doors.
You've opened doors. And I've always told people that blessings and curses flow through connections.
Yeah.
Sometimes the things that we're facing is not necessarily a byproduct of what we're doing, but what we've allowed ourselves to be exposed to or connect to. And so if we're not mindful of the things that we allow ourselves to be exposed to, that we allow ourselves to be engulfed in, allow the people that we allow ourselves to be connected to, you end up fighting battles that are not yours. Demons that were never assigned to you, but because you opened the door, they saw an opportunity. Enemy doesn't attack until they see the opportunity, the opening, the vulnerability. Yeah. In fact, I've been trying to preach this message for like the past 2 months, and God has been I can't get it out because it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
But it's dealing with Ahab and Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat, ruler of the southern kingdom of Judah. First thing he does when he gets into his reign is that he sends out people to teach the community the word. Yeah. He establishes the word. And the Bible says is that the people got so established in the word that the word became their fortress. So much so that the enemies did not even conspire to attack them. They had no thought of even attempting to attack them. But it wasn't until he linked up with Ahab, who was influenced by Jezebel, that they said, okay, we got an opportunity now. The Bible says they laid no thought whatsoever, as long as they were engulfed in the word, as long as they lived in the word and they lived in their worship. The Bible says the enemies thought not one time to attack their kingdom. But the minute he made the wrong connection and opened himself up to a vulnerability, that's when they say, all right, now we can make our move.
Oh, you're ready to preach it now. You're ready. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so I said that to say is that we have to be mindful of what we allow ourselves attached to.
Absolutely.
Every trending thing, every fanfare moment, every celebrity event, everything that's happening in your community is not for God's community.
Jesus Christ.
Paul said, only let your conversation be as it becomes the gospel of Christ. That word conversation in the Greek literally means conduct. In other words, only let what you do be representative of the gospel that you proclaim.
Jesus Christ.
And the minute you start operating outside of that's and so people don't realize that's why he's so hot on your trail right now. It's because you consuming everything but the thing that he gave you to consume, and the enemy just sees open season right now.
Pastor, before we go, I want you to answer this question for us. What's missing in the modern? This is the last question. I know you got to go. What's missing in the modern church when we see the church of social media? Mm-hmm. What's missing from our churches that if we shifted this, God could get the glory?
Consecration, reverence, fear. And I think you and I talked about this back in your office about a month or so ago. We have been seduced by convenience, so much so that we have compromised our reverence for him. Until we put some respect on God, we will never be powerful. We will never we can be as loud on social media and have all the branding and marketing campaigns as possible to get people in the seats. But they'll just be that. They'll just be people in the seats. They will not be changed people in the seats. Because everything that we do is from the lens of seduced convenience. We've made church convenient for people and uncomfortable for God. Because it's no longer holy. And God can't dwell where there's no holiness. It's literally impossible. And so when I go into atmospheres where I know that, because, you know, when you have a walk with God and you live in worship and you spend real time with God, you know when his presence is near. And you go into the atmosphere and you do not sense his presence, it's the sad thing, because 9 times out of 10, those are the loudest churches, the most chaotic churches. And so you begin to ask yourself from a spiritual standpoint, well, if it's not God, what spirit is it?
What is it?
And so, you know, and I try my best not to get deep and spooky, man, but we don't realize that a lot of churches operate in witchcraft and there's demonic influence. Jezebel's missive was never to erase God's name, but it was for us to dilute his influence. They didn't mind, you know, us saying his name as long as we didn't believe in the power behind it.
Jesus Christ.
And this is why a lot of churches are allowed to operate the way that they do. It's because she don't mind, you know, us having church and having a good time. Mm-hmm. But the minute you start changing folk, that's going to be a problem. And what people have come comfortable with is that we've become comfortable with a lack of change and impact.
Yes, sir.
Because we can conveniently have a good time. It does not challenge our sin. It does not challenge our living. And it was so funny because you kept saying this the other night. I'm gonna let y'all go so y'all can get to the club. I used to be that. As a preacher, I used to be that one. I remember showing up when I was 18 to watch night service. Me and my boys, we had drunk so much before church. And then we got to church. We had the nerve to cut up at church. Like we was in service. Like, man, we did a line dance. Like we was there. And we texting each other the whole time, like what we hitting afterwards. Like, why are we in high worship? I used to be that. And so I kept laughing when you kept saying that, because there's literally people who couldn't wait to the benediction to bring in their new year all wrong.
Jesus Christ.
Because they become used to not being challenged. That's why I love coming here, because you challenge people. You know, sin is not okay. We've stopped teaching that. We stopped preaching that. And so, again, back to your question, until we deal with the seducing spirit of convenience and really give God what's due his, you ought not be planning church around your day. You know, your day ought to be planned around church.
My.
Meaning that, okay, if church runs over, I'm not going to make it to brunch. I'm watching my clock to see if church is going to run over, so I'm not late to brunch just in case I got to tip out early. In things like, you know, even with, and I think me and you had this conversation maybe a year or so ago, and when we were talking about live streaming.
Yeah.
And I've had a different perspective about it than most people. At one point, I was like, this is a good thing. Then at another part, I was like, okay, this is not a good thing for us.
Yeah.
Because if you just looking at your phone when it's convenient for you while you at brunch sipping your mimosa, or you at home sipping your cut water, then how much worship are you doing on that phone. Because even when you watch the live stream at home, you ought to be setting an atmosphere conducive to a move of God in your home.
Jesus Christ.
But these things that we've been allowed to use have become more of an excuse not to pursue God than anything. It just looks like we're pursuing God because we jump on the live stream and we say, bless you. That's good, sir. You know, every now and then. Yeah. But we sitting there eating chicken and, you know, cussing out the kids in the background and all this other kind of stuff. It is the appearance of godliness.
Man, come on!
But denying the power thereof.
Pastor Wallace, I need you to tell us where we can find you, where we can follow you when you have church, sir.
Okay, I'm going to give y'all my pastor pages. Y'all don't want to follow me on my personal pages. So go Atlanta's Pastor on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I don't really do TikTok much, but, you know, I'm working on this little clip that on 6-7 with my kids, so we'll try to see how that goes. But, yeah, Atlanta's Pastor. Man. Now, if you are bold, I am WJCW.
Yep. Y'all, there it is. Pastor William Wallace. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Y'all, show your love. We'll see you next time.